Yes, they are. Hello, welcome along to the All for United channel. This is The Topic, a brand new show where we're going to be keeping you company throughout the off-season, if we can call it that, with some really poignant Manchester United debates. We're going to be going back in time and having some historical chatter, but we're also going to focus on some of the talking points from the current day. Now, I know Usman is going to be doing a show on The Topic, and it's all going to be about United's Player of the Year, so that's going to be an exciting one to look out for. But today, lads, by the way, I'm joined by Matty, James and Rusty. You all right?
Yeah.
Not bad, mate. Yeah, good.
I'm joined by the lads, and we're going to be discussing whether United should go all out to win the Europa League. Now, in my head, that sounds really, really ridiculous that I'm even saying that, because in my head, I'm like, it's a trophy. Surely we should go and win it. We're Manchester United. But the Times put out an article the other day, which apparently has inside information that Ollie's going to play the kids. Now, we've also had a chat on this show as well. As soon as United sealed top four, I think it was in the match reaction to Leicester, we spoke a little bit about whether we should go with the kids or whether we should go all out to win the competition. So, Matty, I'm going to come to you first to state your case. What should United do? Should we go all out to win the Europa League?
I think this squad needs a trophy, so I'd say yes. But it's got to be done in a measured way because of the awkward end of the season and start next season. I think it should be something Ollie goes for because I think he said before, he's on record as saying the squad needs a trophy. So I would go out and win it, but I'd also try and work in a few youngsters in like he's kind of into that in the time. So yes, should go out and win it, but also look at the big picture of the squad because they were on their knees at the end of the season. So yes, try and win it, but also be steady, be careful with the first team fitness because we don't want a bad start to next season. Assume we get to the final, of course. Yes, go out and win it, but be careful with the squad.
And we'll come back on that as well, because obviously we can hit on it now a little bit, but the Premier League haven't confirmed whether clubs who get further on into the Europa League and the Champions League, whether they'll be given more respite come the start next season. So, James, Matty's sat on the fence there, I think I can say. What do you think, James? Should United go all out to win the Europa League?
Yeah, I think as much as I'd love a trophy, I think the Europa League will be more important for Ole to win than United. I think it's not a competition we want to be in. So as a club, we've got Champions League secured. Our fate doesn't rest on this. But I think for Ole, winning this trophy with the calibre of teams that are left in the competition, it'd be such a boost to his reputation. It'd go such a long way to proving the doubters wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm going to jump in there and say James is like, yes, I want to win the Europa League. I want to win the Europa League. Give me the Europa League. Give it to me for Ollie. Rusty, what do you think? You don't sit on the fence ever. So what are you saying? Should United go all out to win it?
Yes, Ben. We go out. Yes, we go out and we win it. Imagine what that could do to kick on next season. Knowing that, it's. I think Matty said and James said it's not really a trophy that we want to be in, and we're going back to where we want to be. We're now sat at the elite table of Europe from next season. But for now, we've got this, and we concentrate on it, and we go out all out to win it. And was it Matty? Sorry, no, James was spot on. It's more for Ollie this than it is for the team as well. For him to get that, in the trophy cabinet on his CV is absolutely fantastic, and I think he'll put a lot more faith in Ollie from not for us. Me personally, I love Ollie, but from the media, it might get them off his back a little bit, and a few of the fans who are not still sure if he is all right manager. I think it'll get them on side as well, and it'll give the team a massive boost leading into next season. For me.
Yes, Rusty, love it. No sitting on the fence out. I mean, Matty, we hit on it a second ago, and I did say it. The Premier League have yet to be committal over whether they'll give European clubs the opportunity to maybe start the season a week or 2 weeks later. Obviously, because of the way the Europa League tournament's been set up, it basically means that we're going to have to be in training and playing games once a week throughout August. So it's like a tournament over in Portugal. Oh, no, Germany, isn't it? Is it Germany. Champions League Portugal?
Germany.
We're in Germany. So what do you make of that at the moment? Do you think that the Premier League are going to have to be quick in making this decision to allow clubs like United to decide what they're going to do with their squads? And obviously then that would be influential whether we will go on and win it, because if we're going to play the kids, we're probably less likely to win it. Or do you think either way it won't affect the decision from the United hierarchy, so to speak?
I think the Premier League need to clarify it and say if you get to this stage, you come back then. If you get to the final, come back then. Will it affect Ollie? it depends what his priorities are. If he really wants to win this, it won't change anything. I think I agree with everybody. He needs it. He really needs a trophy at United just to say, I'm here. I'm doing, just for his job. The Premier League need to, yes, they have to come out and say before it all starts, if you get to the final, you get X amount of time off. And I think that will affect not just United, but other teams in it as well. Like, like for Wolves, for example, I think will affect them. If they say, no, you're coming back at similar time to everybody else, that may change Ollie's thinking on when the main players come back into the team. If they say you come back, same time as everybody else, he might go all out with the kids. If they say, yeah, you got 2 weeks extra, whatever it is, then I think he'll put the first team back in. But yeah, they need to clarify it because I think it will affect the squad selection going forward.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, this one, James? Because I'm looking at the clubs who we've got to play potentially. Obviously, we should roll through Lask, and I think potentially the kids should play that game, no doubt. I mean, with the comfortable win we've got there, I think it's a great opportunity to give some fringe players a start. But obviously, next round, it's looking like Bishakir or Copenhagen, potentially. Then we've got the likes of in the semi-final. Is it Wolves or Roma? Maybe Seville, depending how that goes. Olympiacos, big clubs potentially to play there. And then in the final, obviously, we've still got the chance of meeting the likes of Rangers, Leverkusen, Shakhtar Donetsk, Inter Milan. So there's still a few hard teams to play. So I suppose the skepticism within all this is that we get through to the semi-final, the lads are back in training, then all of a sudden, we end up losing to Inter Milan and we haven't got a prolonged break and the players are looking as knackered as they looked against Leicester. Would you say that could be a problem, or do you think if we're deciding to go for it, if we're knocked out in the semi-final, we need to just get on with it?
Yeah, I'd say we probably have to get on with it. We've had this 2-week break in between the Premier League finishing and the Europa League finishing, so that should be enough to get the players rested and ready to go. But that off-season break that you usually get in the summer, in my mind, we've sort of had that a couple of months ago. That was the players' chance to get fully rested and just sort of class this as a new season. I think if you push the Premier League season back anymore, it's already been pushed back, so the fixture congestion is going to get even worse next season as well. So I think you can't really win in this situation. I think the players have just got to really look after themselves behind closed doors more than anything.
Yeah, on that, Rodri Giggs made a point, actually, James. I'll keep this with you because seeing as we're talking about fitness, Rodri Giggs made a point on Breakdown and Banter with Usman after the Leicester game that actually, although physical fatigue might not be playing a part, it's easy for players to be mentally fatigued, especially with our fixture list and the way we've been playing. Seeing as it's like a round robin tournament, so to speak, and there's only going to be potentially 3 more games left for United to play in it. Do you think that should really play into our hands when it comes to that mental fatigue? Because we don't have to do any travelling. And on top of that, it is back to really 1 game a week.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, 100%. I think it's obvious that the morale within the squad is very high at the minute as well. So I think that'll play a massive part with we're just preventing mental fatigue. I think everyone will keep each other alert, sort of thing, just with how well they all get on. So yeah, I'd probably agree with what you're saying there.
We just have to wait and see how the tournament pans out as well. Rusty, I mentioned a few of the clubs there that we could play. I think it's more or less nailed on. It hasn't Beşiktaş, they've won the Turkish league now, haven't they? Have they won the Turkish league? I'm not sure. I think
I couldn't tell you.
I don't watch it. Any Turkish football experts in here potentially? No, I don't think we've got any. Yeah, they've won the Turkish league this year. I think they've beaten Trabzonspor by 4 points at the top there. And by the way, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, well off this year in the Turkish first division. So obviously, when we play them, that's not a given. They're obviously one of Europe's top clubs in terms of teams who are winning leagues right now. They're a squad with quite a bit of confidence after that as well. But going into the likes of the semi-final draw, Rusty, Wolves, or by the looks of it, potentially Roma. That looks quite tasty, doesn't it, in terms of a semi-final?
It looks very tasty, and we all know that we quite struggle against Wolves at times. I think like West Ham have been our bogey team over the years, but it seems like Wolves are our bogey team. Now, saying that though, Wolves are a good team as well. So, every team has got a game on the hands when it comes to playing Wolves. So for me, I'd rather play the likes of Roma, I think that would be an easier fixture for us. And I think that would also mean if we got the likes of Roma, as much as we could bring some first-team players back in for that game, we could probably have like a Mata in there and a Nigalo in there and even a Lingard in there for games like that, and save the big boys for the final when potentially going to play Bayern Leverkusen or Inter Milan, who have got to be the two strongest teams left apart from ourselves.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, Rusty, but I love United's poker face in the Smalling and Sanchez deals. By the looks of it, they've extended the loan up to the Europa League, the start of the Europa League. So, if we did make
that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great shout, to be fair. Looking at it, though, a final date potentially with Romelu Lukaku. How would you feel ahead of that?
That'd be amazing, but it's the further you get and you lose, the deeper the cut, and that'd be a really, really deep cut, wouldn't it? If we got beat by Inter Milan in the final and Romelu Lukaku bagged the winner or just bagged the goal, and Ashley Young as well, even though I still love Ashley and Sanchez as well. Yeah, I'd rather have Leverkusen, thanks. in the fact, even though I think German teams are trickier teams to beat, especially in 90-minute kind of play. They're really defensive, they're astute, they're far more tactical. And I watched Inter Milan last night. They played very similar to United. They like to play on the counter-attack a little bit, and they're quite fast moving forward. The only difference is they aim for Lukaku to hold it up, and they bring in their attacking midfielders. So I think it'd be quite an open game against Inter Milan. But for me, just for the simple fact, I'd rather avoid the heartbreak and nightmare of Lukaku and Sanchez defeating us, which is quite pessimistic. I do know. Bring on Bayern Leverkusen in the final for me.
And there'd potentially be Kai Havertz less by that point as well. Yeah. So that's one amazing player for them out. I mean, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Lukaku probably has a better goal scoring record scoring against us than he does for us, which is obviously the worry. He's prolific against United, isn't he? Who'd ever forget that West Brom game at the end of the Sir Alex Ferguson reign?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Bloody hell. Talking about cometh the hour, cometh the man. Matty, let's quickly go back to this whole sort of tournament setup for the Europa League. As a fan, are you really excited about it? I mean, I know when you gave your first opinion, you was quite positive. I said you sat on the fence, but still, are you excited to sort of have a club tournament happening in the middle of summer when we'd usually have no football whatsoever?
Yeah, it is different, and it is kind of like, I think it's all fresh. It's very different. It feels like it's also more intense. It's like there's not going to be this idea of, the way side will be negative and just hold out to getting back to their place. It's one off, 90 minutes, off you go. Yeah, I'm excited about it because I think also now the pressure's off a bit now for us fans. We're not sitting there thinking we've got to win this with Champions League. It's like, let's go out there and we can relax with no pressure on us. Obviously, Inter Milan probably got the same kind of feeling because they're second in Serie A. I'm excited by it. I think United should be really confident going into it now. That top four win was massive for them. It is nice. It is good to have club football like this in the summer. Obviously will be a regular thing. But yeah, I'm excited by it, and I hope the United squad are excited by it as well. Both all the players, because it's a big opportunity. This now, it's a big opportunity, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It'd be weird because it should be really exciting for the fans and the club.
I mean, James, do you think that maybe some fans are too quick to discredit the trophy that is the Europa League? Because let's face it, when we won it with Jose, the celebrations afterwards were brilliant. The players were so happy. I'll never forget the picture of Paul Pogba going absolutely crazy for winning the Europa League when he's a World Cup winner, and he has a different mentality to the rest of our players in terms of that he wants to be winning the Champions League, not the Europa League. But it meant so much to the lads. So coming back to your point on it meaning a lot to Ollie, do you actually think that the Europa League is a bit more prestigious than some people make out? And do you think that, although it's massive for Ollie, what sort of impact can that have on the lads and the team moving forward?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think whoever plays for United this summer, they're going to go out to win. There's no doubt about that. They're not going to step off at all or take it easy. If there's a trophy on the line, these players are going to want to win it because a lot of them haven't won a trophy yet. But yeah, I think we've put ourselves on a bit of a pedestal. I think there's a lot of clubs, especially in our league and across Europe, who would absolutely kill to be in the position we're in. So I think we've just got to be a bit grounded and think, yeah, there is actually a trophy on the line here that we could win, and that's a brilliant opportunity for the club.
And Wolves are one of those clubs, right? Wolves would love a Europa League. Like, they would absolutely love to win the Europa League. And again, Conte with European football, I think he would love to win the Europa League for Inter Milan as well. So there's still clubs in there who are going to give 100% against United. Just because we've got top four and we feel secure by that, we have to want this trophy. Otherwise, we're not going to win it. So I think that's where the fine margins are. And sort of just on that, James, just quickly coming back to you on sort of that point of winning the Europa League and what it means to the side. I've questioned our mentality in big games. I think it's Leicester's maybe the odd one out, is so to speak the outstanding example of me being wrong here. But our mentality in semi-finals under Ollie and against City, against Chelsea, just wasn't good enough. We didn't turn up in games as well throughout this season when we've played and Chelsea have lost, so we could have made up ground. We just haven't put in the performance we needed. So do you think this could be a great chance for United to prove those haters like myself wrong from that point of view, and to say, look, when we play for something, we go out to win it?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the perfect opportunity. I think, like you said, in the big games that we've had this season, the ones that we've gone in as underdogs, like the games against City in the league, and the whole top six in the league, we've done really well. But like this FA Cup semi-final, this was a Chelsea team that weren't in great form. We were expected to go through to the final, and I think the players just buckled under that pressure. So yeah, this could be a real turning point, hopefully, for the squad if they really take the opportunity they've been given.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you there. It's time to make a statement, and we haven't been able to do that with the FA Cup. We've done that by finishing third, which is a fantastic achievement. I think, do you know what? I don't say this lightly, but I think it's a brilliant season if we win the Europa League as well. It's a great season to this point. Brilliant season if we win the Europa League as well. Silverware and a third place finish is not to be frowned upon, especially where we're at in November. Rusty, just quickly, let's quickly hit on a bit of let's play the kids and talk about a little bit about, you know, whether we decide to go with a bit of a weakened team and sort of don't go all out to win it, so to speak. Although whenever a United player steps on that pitch, they should go out to win the game. Let's not forget that. Who would you be looking forward to see? Say, for instance, if you did go right, Bruno, Pogba, Marcus, Anthony, have some rest. Who would you be looking forward to see and stand out within a United side within the Europa League?
Well, from the kids' point of view, I'd like to see. I've never been a massive fan of Tahith Chong, but obviously there's a lot of backing from the academy, from Ollie for him. So this is an opportunity for him to come in, an opportunity for him to probably make a name for himself and show that he is the talent that everybody within the club believes he is. It's another big opportunity for Fosu Mensah to come in as well. And make his claim to be fighting for starting 11 position next season, even, or at least being the person that's going to be on the bench that's going to come on. They're the two players for me that I reckon should be involved at least within the round of 16 against Lask, which is pretty much a foregone conclusion, and then the quarterfinals and even the semis. But I do want the big boys playing a part as well. You know, because it is the mentality at United. It should be the mentality at every club that you go out there and you win every game. Doesn't matter if you're playing Barcelona at a new camp, you're playing Wolves at Molineux, or you're playing Oxford at wherever they play. I don't know. You know, you go out and you want to win.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you there, Rusty. And again, the lads like Tahith Chong, what a great opportunity for him. Not sure if Axel's going to be fit, but it'd be good to see how Tuanzebe might line up next to like a Harry Maguire.
I was going to say Tuanzebe, but I don't know if he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to be fit or ready in time. It'd be lovely if he is, because he's a fantastic talent, and again, another opportunity for him to get some minutes under his belt in what is a high profile, prestigious competition for me. You're playing against some of the best players in the world still, so. Yeah, it'd be great to see some of the young lads get some minutes under the belts.
Laird as well, see what that hype's about. I know he's been prolific at youth team level and has quickly sort of escalated through the ranks because of his just natural raw talent and reading of the game. You've got players like Mengi, you've got James Garner, who's played Europa League football this season already. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. But what about the fringe players, Matty? Could this be a chance for Jesse Lingard to really kickstart his United career again? Could this be a chance for Aiden Igalo to make a statement to say, United, you need to buy me on a permanent transfer in January? What about those lads? What sort of role could they play in the Europa League?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Lingard needs a run now. We need to see if that goal's gonna get him going again, because he's had a lot of problems off the pitch, obviously. So that goal might have just helped him just get back into it. I think I agree. Igalo should be starting in this Europa League run. I think the first 2 rounds you could easily play him up front, not have a problem with it. Maybe when you get later on, semi-final and final, you may not want to. You may need to bring back the big guns. I think the Finnish players, it's another chance for them to prove to Ollie that they can stay here, because obviously he will be looking at them and thinking whether they're going to be for him or not. Lingard for me is something that I really wanted to work out for him. I really, really do, and I think give him the chance in these next 2 games. Assuming we get through LASK, I think we will. I think we just might edge that first second leg. Just it could be a tight one, but we might just do it, and then see
lose 4-0, still get through.
Yeah, if it doesn't work out, then that's unfortunate. But I think for this Europa League run, it's Lingard's opportunity now to say, right, Bruno's will get rested. We're probably going to rest people like Pogba as well. Right, Lingard, you've got the goal. Let's see if you can kick on now. And I think for him, it's make or break for his career at United. I really think it is. If he just performs well in Europa League, it might keep him. If he doesn't quite do it, that could be the end for him, unfortunately.
Talking about make or break, James, I completely agree there, Matty. What about for the likes of Phil Jones and Juan Mata? Could this be a bit of a goodbye to those 2 players for during the Europa League? Could this really be the moment that Ollie goes, do you know what? Actually, for the likes of Dan James coming through, Chong, Igalo being there, and the fact that we might even sign a Grealish or whoever in the window as well, Juan Mata and Phil Jones be surplus to requirements?
Well, I can't see Phil Jones really getting much football. I think his exit's already been confirmed behind the scenes. I think it could be a final swan song for Mata, although I feel they could keep him around as sort of a senior figure until his contract expires next year. But if I could just go back to what Rusty was saying earlier, I think it's very frustrating that this perfect opportunity has come at this time, because I think this would have been a perfect opportunity for Angel Gomez to prove what he was worth to United. But yeah, obviously that can't happen. But yeah, I think I don't think it'll have much impact on those 2 players that you mentioned, really.
No, okay, fair enough. I mean, it's just one of those tournaments, isn't it? I mean, Mata has played quite a lot in the Europa League this year, so maybe it's an opportunity for Ollie to go, right, this was my second team. I'm going to stick with my second team. Let's go with that. And I mean, when you've got players like Mata, Lingard, Andreas, Fred, McTominay, Fosu Mensah, and potentially you could throw Phil Jones in there. You still got some experience within that. So it's not just about playing, I suppose, all the kids. I know the Times headline was on Ollie's going to play the kids, but these guys aren't kids. These guys have got something to prove. Otherwise, they're done at United. And I think that might be an interesting point for Ollie to sort of take. However, Matty, Rusty, a bit like what Matty said earlier on, the problem is with those players, you're not going to win the tournament with them. You might get through the next round, but when it gets to the semi-final and the final and you're playing the likes of Inter Milan, Roma, Wolves, etc., you're going to struggle with those lads playing, right? Sorry, Rusty,
sorry, is that me? Yeah, you're going to get torn apart, mate, with players like that, sadly. You're quite right. It'd be good for players like Matt. Makes me feel sad when you said, could that be his farewell? Kind of like
I love Mata.
I love Mata as well, but I think there's no room for sentiment in football, and he isn't part of our plan moving forward. He's kind of play the style of football that we play. He's not got the legs. He's not got the speed. He's fast in his head. There's no doubt about that. He's a great thinker of the foot of the game, but he's just not going to be in our plans moving forward, sadly. But you've got to, when he gets to the semis and especially the final, you've got to be playing the big guns. Ollie's got to have told them that already. He's got to be saying that, listen, lads, a few of you are going to get a chance. Jesse, here's your chance to shine, mate, if you want to stay at this club, because I think Jesse said he wants to stay. And of course he will do. He's been with us, 14 years in the academy? 11 years, 2009, I think he joined. And he's looked all right since he came back. I know it's only been 2 games against Norwich and a bit part against Leicester where he scored, where Messi Lingard came alive and scored in last minute, 98th minute. Was there some guy, I've seen something that some guy had a bet that Jesse Lingard wouldn't score all season, and then he scores in the 98th minute. You'd be absolutely wounded. But on a personal note for Jesse, I'd like him to stay, to be quite honest. I think he's still good enough to play, but only as a squad player. I think he's great to come on for the last 20 minutes. He's got plenty of legs in him. He's a fast player. He's great at moving the ball with 1 touch, 2 touch. And if he's got the dedication and his mental health's in the right place, then he can only be a credit to the team. And if he has got, I think he has got a few problems with his mental health and his home life. So I wish him all the best there as well.
Yeah, I think also with the likes of flair players, like if we do bring in Sancho, you've seen it with Greenwood, mentally they're not defending. And I think what's great about if you want to bring on a Jesse Lingard in the 70th minute, he is there, he can read the game. So he's actually great to sort of come in for those lads. That's another conversation for another day. But yeah, it'd be good to see him in the Europa League and banging in goals in the 94th minute to win games anyway. And that what you spoke about there, Gaz spoke about it on Twatman this week at Man United. So make sure you go check out that video. Very, very funny. Right, guys, I think we're there with the first episode of the topic, to be honest. Will United go all out to win the Europa League? So let's just ask one final time. We've debated it. We spoke about what Ollie could do. We spoke about what might happen with the team, how it might affect the squad in the future and the start of the Premier League. If you want to get involved, we put a poll out on our Twitter, @AllForUnited, and get involved in the comments below. Hit subscribe, turn your notifications on to get all the shows. But one final time, let's go yes or no answers, lads. Matty, will Manchester United take Europa League seriously and win it?
Yes.
James, will Manchester United take the Europa League seriously and win it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm liking this. I don't think this is going to go pear-shaped now. I think we've got a safe bet here with Rusty. Rusty, do I even need to ask the question?
It's a full house, mate. Yes.
So from our panel and from us, United will take it seriously and they'll win the competition. Let us know your thoughts. Matty, James, Rusty, thank you, lads. This has been All for United. We'll catch you guys soon. Take it easy.